Yarg, welcome to the old Wikid podcast. I'm your host, Captain Michael Watson, and I'm joined by the wickedest crew around. Welcome, everyone. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Welcome, everybody. My name is Michael. I'm one of the Wikid co-founders here, and today we're joined by three of our awesome creators, and Scott, Ebi, and Jeremy. Welcome, guys.
Ahoy, matey!
Welcome aboard. It is National Talk Like a Pirate Day. If no one knows what we're doing. It'd be funny. I can imagine like someone's like, "Man, what is going on?"
Yeah, I guess we should have explained that before. You know, that is also cool.
Here's a question: Do any Wikid comics feature pirates?
You know, unfortunately, I don't. Yeah, I wanted to. I was gonna make the podcast image a pirate for today, but I was like, the closest we got is Vikings. You know.
Okay. Yeah.
There is talk of Sporkman on the high seas.
True. That's true. There will be pirates in the future.
So this is now relevant. There we go.
Oh, let's see here. Let me pull this up. Oh, Sporkman sketch cards. Those are cool.
Yeah.
It's Sporkman with Blue Beetle, right?
No,
that's the Tick.
The Tick.
Oh, the Tick. I'm sorry. I was reaching for the Tick. I was envisioning the
Tick.
It.
They're both Blue Beetle.
Yeah, I think that's what.
Oh yeah, I also have the Tick's lady on the back of this one.
He's got a lady. How does the Tick have a lady?
Sorry, I meant Sporkman's lady. I'm wrong.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, no. So
Sporkman's much more handsome than the Tick.
There you go. Both of these are drawn by Peter Simeti.
I love those, dude. Yeah, I love his Sporkman, dude. Pull that up again real quick if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah.
I love the way he's done the mask. It looks very stylistic, almost like I don't know how to. Yeah.
Hey, I like his sketch cards. I have several.
I do too, dude. We have about 5 sketch cards.
He's a pretty competent illustrator. He's a pretty competent illustrator.
Well, which is funny because he doesn't draw, like, he doesn't do sequential art, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when are you gonna do that? And he's like, with what time?
You could do it. Just tell him to do it in 5-minute bursts.
Yeah. Just do like there's 6 panels on a page. Just spend 5 minutes, you know, each done. Maybe not.
Oh, that's funny, man. But we were gonna point this out. We got your full name here today.
There you go, Jeremy Robert Bellarmine Lott.
Bellarmine, is that any relation to was it Bellevue you live in, right?
No, it's Saint Robert Bellarmine, so it's my name with plus my saint name, so Jeremy Robert Bellarmine Lott.
Oh, okay. And what's a saint name?
When you come into the church, you take a saint, and you can
like a patron saint.
Yeah, exactly, and you can add it to your name if you want. And I just did as for funsies.
Oh, okay.
You just need to get your law degree and it'll be Esquire.
There you go.
And then you get knighted and it'll be Sir Jeremy Robert Esquire.
I stayed up last night, right? Because like I'm predicting that, you know, there's the Ruth Bader Ginsburg diet, right? And they got to kill her. So I stayed up. I have a prediction about who it's going to be, and so I stayed up last night writing a thing about why I think that there's a district court judge out of Michigan named Stephanie Dawkins Davis, who I think is going to be the nominee. Now I could be wrong, but the bio line I submitted was Jeremy Lott should have been a lawyer.
Yes, maybe in an alternate life you were.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I've thought about going to law school, but that is a whole beast right there.
Plus, in California, like the bar is you know, it's an 800-pound gorilla.
Really,
it's ridiculously difficult to pass.
Damn.
They've actually cut it down like
this
in the
year,
last
yeah.
couple years.
Well, this year especially just because of COVID and stuff. But
yeah, that makes sense.
No, it used to be. What was it? It was 4 hours of like multiple choice. The first day. The second day was something like you had to do a case study and then an essay, you know, just a bunch of essay questions, and then like the third day was like 4 more hours of like multiple choice.
Yeah,
it was like,
no, I mean just an absolute just bare.
Horrendous thing, huh?
Yeah, and then if you don't pass, you get to do it again 6 months later.
Yeah. What? How much is it? How much is it a whack? Like $800 to take that, or maybe it's more.
I'm not sure. I just know in our office they had like younger attorneys that they would hire on, and they would give them 3 chances to pass.
Yeah.
What do you
before
mean?
they like let them go.
Oh damn. Like you at your office?
Yeah.
Damn.
Or at my old office, I should say.
Oof,
No, it's just notorious. Like there are lawyers that are barred in other states that move to California and never can pass the bar.
Yeah.
It's that difficult.
They did reduce it from 3 days to 2 days. I think that was like 2 years ago, maybe. But yeah, it's still like when they told me what you had to do, I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like tests don't normally intimidate me. That just sounds awful.
Yeah. And then I mean, on top of you have to pay for law school to be able to even get to that far. Usually
in Washington State, you can actually apprentice and get around the law school requirement.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I but it's actually really difficult to, like, it's legal, you can do it, but it's really difficult to do an apprenticeship here. Otherwise I'd consider it, because like I'm interested enough in the law and in money that it'd be a thing. But it's not. I wouldn't be willing to go to law school to do it because it's just that's a lot of time and a lot of money that I don't have.
I decided to do for now because I'm in the kind of in the legal field like Scott is, and so I decided to get a paralegal certificate instead for now, and see how that goes, and hold something like that big decision for way down the line. Be like, you know what? Let me not think about that for a while. Probably won't do that.
I get it.
Well, I mean, also if you think about it, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was gonna say I've heard from lawyers that say like they work like 60+ hour work weeks, and that's intense, man.
Oof. What's your favorite? Everybody here? What's your favorite comic representation of a lawyer?
Oh wow, that's a really good question, man. Whoa.
Comic or just like any media?
I mean, I'm more interested in comics, but if you can't come up with one, then other media.
I guess I'd have to go Matthew Murdock.
I'm going to say Matt Murdock.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's a pretty good one. That's actually pretty good. Pretty good answer.
You know when I realized that, like, Matt Murdock, of all places and times, when I was watching the original cut of the first Devil movie, the one with Flick, there's this entire subplot that they cut for the theatrical release in which he defends a guy who does have like a history of violence and he's like a career criminal, but he's being judged for a crime that he didn't commit. So he says, Your Honor, this guy is basically a piece of shit, and yes, the world will be a better place with him behind bars, but in this time he didn't commit this particular crime, so it would be unfair to convict him. And I'm like, damn, that's a good lawyer right there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting, man.
I will say that in fictional like attorneys, the one thing that I have a takeaway with now that is kind of, I guess, my hot take is there's especially if they have the glorified defense attorneys like Perry Mason stuff, there's not that many innocent people that are being charged with crimes.
Yeah. My favorite, I think, would probably be Wolf and Bird, Counselors of the Macabre. It was by a lawyer named Batten Lash, and it was like kind of like if Dracula gets hauled into court, these guys would represent him, and it was it was a fun comic because it was by an actual lawyer who knew the law and had a good sense of humor and did a good job of telling funny supernatural legal stories.
That does sound kind of like fun. That's like when me and my coworker got bored at work and we're like, is there a law for like vigilantism? So we asked one of our attorneys and they actually like looked it up because they were curious. So in California, there isn't a specific law for vigilantism. They just charge you for the crimes that you break while doing vigilantism.
Have you guys heard of this phenomenon? I actually was into this, like researching this like probably like 5 years ago, I would say at this point. But I was like, because I was just after watching Kick-Ass, I think.
Yeah.
And I got into kind of interested, like, well, are there actual people doing this? There are people. There are. There are actually people who like do quote unquote superhero work or hero work or whatever you want to call it.
No, I mean there was a bunch of them down. There was a bunch of them down in Seattle.
Yeah,
that's where what's his name? Phoenix Jones is from, right? The black guy
and then
with the yellow armor.
And he just recently got charged with like cocaine possession or I don't know.
Yeah.
It's usually something weird like that.
Yeah.
Nightfall.
So more locally, Michael, there was a guy that dressed like Batman in San Jose.
Whoa, really?
And he would just like, I think he was
Patrol?
up on rooftops. Yeah, and he would just call the police.
Shit.
But he was just
That's so awesome, dude.
So wait, he just dressed up as Batman. He
Yes.
stood on the rooftop and he was like, "Oh, I think there's a crime in progress. You should go see that."
Yes.
That's totally legal.
Yeah. It's totally legal.
I remember watching a documentary once about a bunch of they had like a Justice League of Vigilantes in Brooklyn, and they would go out and try to hunt of all people's homophobes. So they would have this guy act as bait, like with really skinny shorts and trying to act all provocative. And I remember they would never catch anyone being homophobic, but they did catch someone running over a homeless guy. So they just put him in the car of the guy who had run him over, and they drove him to the hospital. And that's why that was it. That was the night of vigilantism.
Okay.
Yeah. I've heard. I mean, when I was reading about I've heard stuff about like people defending people and like doing all sorts of crazy stuff, and they'll like go around in costumes and do community service and like. So I was like kind of interested. I was like, oh, this is really interesting. I didn't know there was people actually trying to do that. And it's like you said, it's not 100. Like as long as they're not breaking laws, there's really no laws against it.
Yeah, like there's no law against being heroic while wearing a costume.
Yeah, go figure.
I need to use that line at some point.
Yeah, it sounds like a line from a comic, right?
Yeah.
Why, who do you think you are, man?
Yeah, the other problem though is there is a fine line, and you have to be careful doing that kind of thing because it's very easy to like step over into getting charged criminally yourself. But then there's also the civil side of it too, where the person that you were attacking in order to defend someone else might be legal, but if you go overboard and injure them, then they can sue you.
And then there's the transverse where the person could get hurt. You know, it's dangerous to trying to be a hero out there when you're not necessarily trained by professionals.
Yeah. No, I've got a comic that it's been written. It's being Doug Curtis's brother Ross is drawing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it sort of riffs on this idea that we're all wearing masks these days, right, in public. And so if somebody's behaving heroically, he's of course going to look like a costume superhero because he's got a mask on.
Well, I had this every time I go to like the drive-in or the drive-through or whatever, and I'm putting on my mask. I'm like, it used to be like when you were doing something like this, you were going to do a crime.
That's how it begins. You have a couple guys go into a bank and they look like and act like bank robbers, but they just want to get their money out.
Yeah, I think I saw that panel and I was kind of making comments on that. Yeah. Like in that general thing.
Yeah.
They did a Princess Bride. I don't know if you guys saw, they did a live Princess Bride thing the other day.
I saw a little bit of it.
Yeah, there's a line that's in that Wesley in the thing says, he goes, I think in the future everyone will be wearing masks. They're very comfortable.
His is just covering his eyes, which is actually comfortable.
Right.
We have to cover our mouths.
Right. I thought that was funny though. I was like, that's a good one.
I have to wear one movie, like man. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week.
I couldn't do it. Like I don't. I wear a mask when I go into like supermarkets and stuff. Like
public.
Yeah. I mean, there are very very few times where I've worn one outdoors, but it's mostly just because I haven't got it off yet. It's constantly like I'm pushing air up into my eyes and annoying them. I really don't like it. I mean, it's not that I just don't like it. It's if I had to do it for 8 hours a day, it would not be good.
You take little breaks. You start eating at your desk so you can take it off.
Dude, my nose starts hurting after like 20 minutes, dude. I don't know how you'd stand that.
There's a local restaurant here, because all the waitresses and barkeeps and whatever have to wear these things, the masks indoors, right? But they have an outdoor patio area, and they've had like a bunch of Karens snitch on them, but I've told them like specifically, when you're serving me, I do not expect you to wear a mask. It's fine. and so they actually like come out and give me better service because they can take a breath.
Wow.
Yeah, they're like, I'm gonna go to that table so
Yeah.
they'll actually let me breathe.
Well, I'm sure you guys know that masks are mandatory in Spain, and we have to wear them everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for your house, though, right? You're not wearing them in the house, of course. I hope.
No, I'm luckily yet it is not illegal for you to not wear one inside your home. You know.
Yet.
I say yet. So yeah, and I noticed that. I don't know if I'm the only one, but when I wear the damn thing for too long, I get like a sore throat, like irritated nostrils and stuff. And I think it's because I'm breathing in my own hot air that I should be exhaling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. There are some downsides to it, and it can give you like a little bit of a scratchy throat and congest you a little bit.
Yeah. Oof. I know a friend, like I know someone who she was at the mall for 3 hours wearing a mask and it keeled over. She didn't die, but I mean, like she did the rebreathing. She wasn't getting enough oxygen and she just passed out.
Plus, you have that mall air, which is like not great anyway.
Yeah, well, there's that. I mean, I wouldn't recommend the mall right these days. Period.
So I found that I've developed an anxiety of going outside now, which is cool. That's great. Glad I could develop another anxiety to add onto the ones I already have.
I kind of think though that like if you look at all the protests and how little COVID spread during that.
Oh, I know. I believe it, but like it's still like when I had to go to work the other day to pick up my headset, and I was just like. Like I turned the corner to get to like around from my building, and all of a sudden my heart was pounding. And I was like about to like pass out. And I had to put on music because like, oh shit, what the hell's happening to me?
Yeah.
This was like almost as an involuntary reaction.
Yeah. No, or like here with the air bad, I was having a hard time breathing the other night. So that was.
Oh jeez.
This sucks so hard.
Really.
Let's get through it and get that needle in our arm and call it good.
Needle in the arm? I'm not familiar with that phrase.
Vaccine.
Oh, I thought you were talking about heroin or something. No. Like Jesus, is that like a metaphor? I don't understand.
Heroin will get rid of COVID.
If it would, I would do heroin.
That's the mindset they're in. I mean, if we violate everyone's civil rights, we will get rid of COVID. So why not just drop a bomb in the middle of the city? That will make the numbers go down.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not like people. Right?
Let's drop a pocket nuke.
Yeah,
it'll work.
So I called a scientist and didn't get him, so I got a science fiction buff instead the other day. So I thought I'd throw this out to you guys. So we're constantly bombarded by radiation. Like you see this like murky sun in the background. That's solar radiation, and there's all kinds. It's not like
gamma rays.
All that, like we're constantly. It's not a bad. Actually, in low enough numbers, it's fine. And there's actually some science that says that. Like there's like a sweet spot for radiation where you're supposed to get so much but not too much, right?
The sweet spot. I love me just a little bit of radiation.
Oh yeah. But we don't like. It's for the most part. Unless you get like the wrong kind of radiation and the wrong amounts, our bodies just kind of shrug it off.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but so in one of my comics, I have a couple of girls who. They just absorb all of, and I don't mean nuclear. I mean just all the radiation that's coming in. They absorb it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they can let it out at once. And I need to talk to more people, but my sense is you could get a similar effect to a low-level nuke if you just absorbed enough radiation that isn't nuclear over a long time, and then just let it out all at once. So anyways, I need to do more research on this, but I thought I'd throw that out there and ask you guys what you think of it.
It makes me also think that using that kind of with that power you could, because if you think of light as a form of radiation,
it is,
and you could take light from a room and all of a sudden you're there's like no light in the room and you couldn't be able to, other people wouldn't be able to see. I would imagine
there's that, yeah,
right, because be able to see is a reflection of light that comes in. Obviously, when it's dark, we can't see because of that.
So they would,
thinking like that. Yeah.
They would drain the radiation out of anything that's nearby them.
Well, the idea is just that like you're constantly bombarded with radiation, right? But you're not absorbing it all.
Oh, okay. You can store it more
they're basically radiation batteries.
I
right?
see. Okay.
And with a release valve.
Okay, I get what you mean now.
Yeah. But your idea was good too.
Thanks.
But yeah, like, so this idea, and like, you can do more things to encounter more radiation. Like, you could go sunbathe, or there's other things you could do, right?
Go to a sun tanning.
Sure, yeah.
And a bunch of smoke detectors.
So the idea, is that there are these two little girls that actually have this ability, right? And so it's part of this comic book I'm doing called AUMF, right? And that stands for Authorized Use of Mega Human Force. And what happens is that, like, there's like a meteor and gas and mutants, right? But they're not like X-Men mutants, in the sense that one of the things I always hate about the X-Men is, like, they're mutants, but they almost all of them look normal, but they can, like, supercharge cards and blow stuff out of their eyes,
or some maybe they're blue.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few of them that are actually.
Well, there's just like a few, but
they don't. Most of them don't look like mutants, right? They don't look like what you would think of. In this case, they're all physical mutations of some sort, right? But you have a couple little girls who have this ability to draw in the radiation and store it and let it out in bursts, right? And so these the mega humans, they decide that they are going to convince the rest of the world they're a nuclear power, and so they just walk one of these little girls into the middle of the forest, and she lets it all out and just destroys the forest, and then they, like, put a drone in there to fly her out or something, right? But then, like, the rest of the world is just scared shitless because they think that, like, they're like a nuclear power now.
That's a good idea, I say.
That's actually pretty. Yeah, that's a pretty interesting idea.
Yeah,
So it's like they to the rest of the world, they're this super powerful thing, but they're really not. It's like a facade in a sense.
Well, I mean, they could do, like, theoretically, one of these girls could have marched in the middle of the city and done the same thing, right? But it's not. They're not. It's not actually.
They're not using it, right? And it's the interesting part is that they're the facade is that they're not. They could go and blow everyone up, but they're as like a nuclear power would, but they're not actually a country. I'm assuming that they're fooling the rest of the world into thinking they're like a nation.
Well, they're using these girls. So what happens is that most of because America has better, like, fast trauma medicine than anywhere in the world. There's other things that aren't great about American healthcare, but that part is the best. Like, we have more ICU beds per capita than basically anyone. This kind of thing. They're able to save more of these megas, and so for the most part, it's an American phenomenon. And so, but it creates a problem, and so and there's, like, a South American nation that's just effing with us, and so the president decides, why don't you guys go down there and sort that out, right? And so they do, but they end up taking over the country and then becoming a nuclear power, right?
Okay,
so it kind of backfires.
Jeez, that sounds really interesting, man. I love the setup there. Have you got an artist yet?
I got the first issue written and mostly drawn. Sean Langley, are you familiar with him? He did a cover for, it came out on a Wednesday. He did Nasser Abadi has done a couple of comics that he drew. I mean, he's a very good artist. So he's got most of the first issue done. And awesome. I got to write future issues, but I mean, it's going to be a fun comic.
Damn, that's awesome.
But I got to talk to a few more scientists about this radiation thing. I don't. It doesn't have to be completely accurate, but I try for, like, within spitting distance if possible.
Yeah, it gets real complicated.
Just make it look to the readers as if you really care about the subject. You're not just pulling shit.
I'll see if I can shoot through my professor's name and see if he'll talk to you. I had this professor. I was probably my favorite class I ever took. It was called Physics for War, Physics for Peace, and then I also had a counterpoint, English for War, English for Peace, and essentially was an English teacher and a physics teacher doing a joint class where they would go through classic novels like On the Beach and Forever War and other classic novels, and then the physics teacher would come in and then talk about the actual science behind things and actually explain how nuclear power works, and we'd have a real conversation. It was like this kind of joint class, and it was fascinating, honestly.
That's actually really cool. I like that.
It was really interesting. Yeah, honestly, I read some of my favorite books during that time too.
Cool.
I always wonder how it must feel like to have teachers in college that actually care about the subject that they're teaching. Like the ones that I had.
Oh, that sucks. It makes a big difference, honestly.
I in college, in community college, right? Because I did the last 2 years of high school for me were community college, and then I went to an actual 4-year school to do the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
I had a professor who was a philosophy professor named John Knirk, who really cared about the subject matter and was a hard ass. And I remember coming back and just sat through one of his first classes and didn't look at him. I looked at the classroom to see how they reacted to someone who takes this shit seriously. They were shocked. Because he was like, and I'll downgrade you for poor spelling, and they go, and they, like, the kids are like, what?
Oh, damn.
and they said, what if you don't know how to spell the word? And he goes, well, there is an ancient remedy for that, and it's called use a different word.
Oh man, yeah, that's pretty good, man. That's a hard ass for sure.
He was a hard grader, and I mean, I got a B+ in his class, and I'm usually very easily an A student, right? And he wouldn't do a multiple choice. You had to do all of his tests where you sat down and wrote essays and had to demonstrate subject knowledge, and he really took the subject seriously, and I learned a heck of a lot from his class. So I agree.
Those open essay tests, those are freaking hard. I remember I took a history class, and I was at the time I was like thinking maybe I'll go into history. That sounds fun. And I took a class and had to do all these tests, and I was like, damn, dude, I like learning about history, but I cannot do tests on it.
Yeah.
Wow, this is tough. Like trying to memorize all the dates and stuff was like impossible for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It usually helps if you kind of put a timeline in your head.
Okay, I could see that. Yeah.
Like so it's you just kind of figure out like where things fit on a sliding scale.
Yeah. I could see that.
To me to memorize dates.
Yeah, that's pretty smart. Yeah. Luckily, I don't have to do tests anymore.
There you go.
For me.
School's out, ha!
Forever. Just like the song says.
That's right. Take that, nerds. It's so fun. Good.
I got a work test that's coming up after I take the class, but it's for the CLETS system.
The what?
That's basically the system you use to run like rap sheets and stuff.
CLETS?
CLETS. CLET.
Don't be a klutz.
So is it pronounced klutz or klets?
CLETS, like
CLETS.
CLETS.
Okay.
I don't know what the acronym is.
I was gonna be like Butterfingers.
Yeah, it's really super regulated. Like anytime you look somebody up, probation.
Oh, you got the job, huh?
Yeah, I switched over in end of May.
Dude. Good job.
But yeah. Because it's like super like classified information, like you have to put in the exact reason why you're looking someone up. So I can't just be like, "What's Jeremy done?"
Because they think we'll just be looking up like any random person, like for fun, right? From funsies,
or for personal reasons, or for creepy reasons. They crack down on that.
I bet like someone might pay you to look up something about someone they know.
I've never had that offer, but
well,
just for the record, I would turn it down.
Wink, wink, wink.
But yeah, so what it is whenever you look someone up, you either have to tie it to like the court number or the police report number that you're working on. So they like when they come in and audit, they're like, okay, this is looking up, and they'll even pull some of them and look up the case and see how that person's even tied to it. So they're not, you're not just like throwing things in there.
Like, how much has that changed over the years? Like, my sense is it used to be fairly easy to look that stuff up, and it's gotten progressively, more regulated.
I think the regulation has gone stricter as it's kind of opened up and become more readily available. Like with the, technology and everything like that. It's if you had, back in the day before they had like online internet and stuff, you would basically have to either write into like a department, and get that stuff mailed to you, kind of thing. But now that they have online access, like anyone in any location that's approved or whatever can log into it, so they have to have strict regulations.
You know what's funny? The copyright office is kind of like that old school. So like I had to send a request to them the other day, and they still require you to mail everything to them, which is like really in today's day and age.
Should I fax it just to be on the
safe? Right. Just make sure you get your pager out just in case you need that.
Yeah. Clearly.
Oh, we very much still use faxes.
Yeah, I don't get faxes. What's the point? I mean, you could just email something and print it out.
It's not quite as secure. There's a lot more ways to like intercept stuff when it's an email, because it goes through different locations. When you're doing a fax, it's literally one phone line to another.
I think that makes sense probably for small, because I just been working at for Cash Pro, which is part of Bank of America recently, and they have like the secure email thing that they have, where like you can set like confidential and like encrypts it, I think, but probably for most people that's not an option, I would think so.
Well, heavy encryption it's not. I mean, it's available, but most people don't know how to use it.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, and like so okay, I could see that. Still, what a pain in the ass.
No, I remember, when faxes were still a big part of how like publications were put together. That was interesting.
Huh? How's that?
Oh, I mean, sometimes you'd get for instance, a lot of times you'd get your proofreading back by fax. Like you'd send it to someone, they'd print it off, and then they like do markups, and then they'd fax it back to you.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
No Word document with the built-in.
Track changes. Yeah. I mean, I don't know when track changes dates to, honestly.
That's such a great feature too.
I mean, it is for legal reasons. It's as an editor, sometimes I hate it. I gotta be honest. Yeah. Because it's not. It's hard to work around sometimes when you're, because when you visually see the stuff in front of you, it can create issues with like, well, you think you've deleted that, or just the things don't fit together the way they would if you were able to just delete the stuff and see without looking at all the redlining what it looks like. Plus, there was also a book once that I did with track changes the vice, I don't know, I guess the head of the division ended up on the phone with the author for 14 hours that day, having to justify all the changes from track changes.
Jeez, dude.
That's intense. So that was something. I think I ended up with a few less books to edit because of that, honestly.
Really?
They're like, I don't know. Do I really want to be at 14 hours on the phone? Probably no. Let's give it to this other editor. Wow, like when I was editing books freelance, right? I mean, if I was to go with a ballpark average, I'd pull 10,000 words out of a book.
How'd you start getting into editing, man? Because I wanted to do an editing job. I applied for an editing job once at Crunchyroll, but obviously I have no experience, so I didn't get it.
Yeah. I mean, I've just done it for so long. I don't even remember.
You don't even know how you got it at this point. You're like, one day I woke up and I was an editor.
Yeah, it was, what the heck just happened?
Jeez, whoa.
I mean,
what was that?
Yeah. I knew specifically the book editing thing. I had worked with a guy at a publication, and then he went to a book publishing company, and I think he had me do some minor editing to start with, and then he had me edit some books for him, right? And then he had me write some books for him. So that's how I ended up, becoming an author. But it was all very organic. It wasn't ever like, it was funny because he said, okay, I want you to do a list of books that we could do. And they picked the least likely one. gave him a list of 10 titles, right? And he picked the one on that list that I thought was the absolute least likely to go, and said, "Okay, write that book," right? And that was In Defense of Hypocrisy. And then I thought we had a hit on our hands with a proposal I did for the second book, and his publication committee was like, "Nope, nope, nope." And I said, "Okay, cool. I guess I'm not writing any more books." And then he comes back and he goes, "Hey, why don't you write a history of the vice presidency?" What?
Sounds like an interesting one.
Yeah, so I ended up, writing the Warm Bucket Brigade. And
we're putting these up on the screen. We're putting you on blast.
Okay.
I gotta shout out my homeboy here because I saw your tweet just the other day, man. Why don't you tell people what you put out there?
About how
many you've been in.
I've been published. I've lost count. I've been published in several hundred publications. The number is high. It may be over 1,000. It's it's in the ballpark of 1,000. So here's my first book, In Defense of Hypocrisy.
That's pretty amazing, dude.
So
that's cool, man.
I like that cover. And then I wrote The Warm Bucket Brigade was the second book I did for him. And then finally I did a book on William F. Buckley. So and then I did I
remember you telling me about the William F. Buckley one.
Yeah.
That was a while back actually.
Yeah. And then there was a former governor of Maryland who's now dead named Marvin Mandel, and I was the recognized ghostwriter for his memoirs called I'll Never Forget It. So
Jeremy's a ghost writer.
Oh yeah.
Do you also have like a motorbike with flaming wheels?
I need one. Though apparently in the comics they've replaced that with a car. Is that correct?
In the latest incarnation, yeah. I think that was around 2010, something like that. Yeah, that they gave him
muscle car, right?
He used to ride like a 1970s muscle car with flaming wheels.
Yeah, because I saw they had Ghost Rider and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and he had a car. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. That's based in the last iteration of the Ghost Rider that I even bothered to check.
Yeah, I think they're back
Robbie
to
Reyes.
Yeah, that's the guy.
I think they're back to either the bike now or like a spaceship. I don't know.
Cosmic Ghost Rider, right?
Yeah, the Punisher with a space-faring motorbike. I don't know. I just can't get bothered.
Yeah, I don't know. I really liked the 90s Ghost Rider a whole lot, but that's come and gone, I guess. Did you know Ghost Rider is like the original Ghost Rider is in the public domain? That wasn't a guy on a flaming bike; it was a guy on a horse.
Oh yeah, no, isn't he in the movie? Played by
Wasn't there like a PBS show like in the 90s called Ghost Rider?
There was a WRI.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know if it was PBS, probably. But yeah, there was that. But yeah, the original Ghost Rider from the comics though is in the public domain. But you can't do the guy on the flaming bike, so what's the point? By the way, the Ghost Rider movies were crazy. And I saw the second one thinking it can't be crazier than the first one. And I was wrong. It was nuttier.
Ghost
You're talking
Rider?
about the Nicolas Cage movies, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get a lot of hate for that. I just love both movies. I think
really, I've never seen them.
They're bad. They're pretty terrible. They're awesome. There's a scene in Ghost Rider 2 in which the Ghost Rider rides one of the Bagger 288 massive mining machines, that are like almost the size of a house, and he turns it into a demonic bagger. He kills the bad guys with like a giant flaming chainsaw. It's one of the most awesome scenes of the 2010s.
I thought there was no way you're going to top the craziness of the first Ghost Rider movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're going to have to dial it back. No, they did not dial it back.
But what is it? I don't know if you guys ever watched Community, but one of the characters always was very analytical, broke things down, and he went crazy on the concept of Nicolas Cage, good actor or bad actor.
That was a great
episode. I think he's like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's good if you know how to cast him. You can just cast Nicolas Cage in a contained, subtle role. He's
that's
Nicolas
right.
Cage.
I saw The Color Out of Space just like a week ago with him in it.
How was it?
It was amazing, dude. I highly recommend it. It was so good.
I need to see it.
Yeah,
If
me
you
too.
love Lovecraft,
Check him out
you're
here.
gonna love it, dude. It's such a great homage to Lovecraft.
Do you know why he took so? I don't know. Maybe he still is taking so many roles. It's because he was like a shopaholic, and he got millions and millions of dollars in debt because he couldn't stop buying stuff. So he had to keep doing all these, like, take any role just in order to keep his, like, to you know, because he was jonesing for more stuff.
He has castles, or he did at one point. Like when the market crashed in the like mid 2000s, he was like having to dump like his castles because.
God damn, dude! Stop buying so much crap.
And Nicolas Cage is a meme in real life.
And he just he what?
I said Nicolas Cage is a meme in real life.
Oh yeah,
if memes were living beings, they would be Nicolas Cage.
He is a living meme.
Yeah. No, and he's like his actual name is Nicholas Coppola, right? Because
he's the nephew.
He changed it because he didn't want it to look like it was nepotism, but you know it was nepotism.
Well, the other thing too is he's always been a big comic book fan. Like he's like any comic book movie, he always throws his name like in for the role. Just even if he like is completely not fit for it, he just wants to do comic book movies.
He was almost Superman with Tim Burton.
Yep. But yeah, that's where he got that's why he went with Cage. I think it was Luke Cage is
really?
Yeah.
What? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I think he named his son Kal-El.
What?
First of all, Kal-El Cage.
Seriously?
I guess legal name Kal-El Coppola, but still.
That's funny.
That's great. Wow. He was great in what's it called? Come on. Hit Girl and Kick-Ass. There we go.
I was gonna say Big Daddy, dude.
Yeah, he was great as Big Daddy.
I loved that role, dude. The perfect blend of comedy and seriousness. It was great. Yeah. What a good movie. That first Kick-Ass movie.
Why does this hurt so much? Because I use low caliber rounds.
Oh man, that's so funny. I love how he talked too.
Oh yeah. No, that's fun. But by the way, it's also what I really have a serious hate on for Jim Carrey and how he did that role, and then
really
decided to badmouth the movie afterwards.
Yeah.
While they were promoting it, I'm like, screw you, buddy.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, huh? Like, if you didn't want to be in it.
Yeah, like, you know, if you take the money, then at least shut up. You know, don't you know, come out and badmouth the movie while it's it's out there, and you know, I mean, after the fact, whatever, I don't care. But I mean, like, it was while they were doing their publicity, he was disowning the movie. You know, like, no, that's bullshit.
Yeah, everything that happened around Kick-Ass 2 was really too bad because I was hoping for Kick-Ass 3.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you might get it on Netflix now that Mark Millar has sold, he sold Miller World to Netflix, right? And so they're developing a lot of things, and I think that probably will be back in the mix at some point.
I could see maybe a Hit Girl solo movie potentially as well.
Have you been following the Hit Girl comics? Because they've been farming out to different writers to do different miniseries.
Really?
So they had I don't know. Let me think here. Jeff Lemire did Hit Girl in Canada. And I loved how and he's like, Lemire is not like politically, this is not him, but he did like one of the bad guys in it, who's not, you never see, but is a horrible prime minister named Justin.
Who could that be? I wonder.
I don't know. But and then you had like Gerard Way did Hit Girl in Hong Kong, and I don't know, there was a couple others.
Gerard Way, is that the musician?
Yeah, he also is the Umbrella Academy guy.
Yeah.
What do you mean? He writes Umbrella Academy?
Created.
He also the the girl in Into the Spider-Verse that has the radioactive spider that controls the robot. That's also his creation too.
I didn't know he was so much involved in comics. See?
Yeah. Both.
That's really cool.
He does a lot of music and comics.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
I would like to see crossover between when musicians start getting, or if they've always been in comics, but all like do stuff in comics. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, as long as people really like comics, I don't have any objection to celebrities doing comics.
Like how we talked about Keanu Reeves last time.
Yeah. Like if that's your jam, then sure, by all means, come jam with us.
Hell yeah, yeah. I should be getting my first because for those not to get back to the Keanu Reeves comic too much, but for those who checked out the Indiegogo, they have you can get the trade books that are coming out way down the line, but they're also going to be releasing them in comic stores as single issues. So I've already pre-ordered the first issue. It should be coming out, I want to say, next month or the month after.
Yeah.
So excited to check that out, man.
Yeah, I thought about it. I still might.
That looks cool. There's a this guy named goes by Grandpa. It looks like. He's doing variant covers, and I've been pre-ordering his covers because I absolutely love his artwork.
So Grandpa,
Rafael Grandpa. He has like
really?
tiny things over the final 8. His name, I think he's Brazilian.
Okay, yeah, his art's astounding, and he does his covers. It just shows the main character, and one of them is just he's decked out in all these weapons. He's like got guns, swords, knives, like every kind of weapon you can use, all slung on himself, just like standing there, like, oh, it looks so cool, man. It's wild.
That's awesome.
So it's like Deadpool at the end of Deadpool when he has that duffel bag of guns, but because of budget reasons, he left them in the car.
Oh gosh, dude,
you heard that was why they didn't have all those guns, right?
Really?
Yeah, they ran out of money for the film, so they're just like, well, what would we do? Well, he could have just left him in the car. That's a total Deadpool thing to do.
That was a great gag too. Yeah. God, I love Deadpool. I hope I'm really hoping for a Deadpool 3.
I think
really
did you say it would be X-Force though if they did a third one?
Really interesting. It wouldn't be quite the same to me if they did X-Force. So I still enjoy that.
They basically did X-Force in
they did, yeah. Even though they killed them off in the
Cable and Domino, and, I mean, okay, they killed off Shatterstar, which was funny, but
yeah, that's right. It wasn't all of them. It was just one.
I did like when he called Cable Thanos in the second movie.
That's a great one too. Yeah.
Did you guys all see the Logan movie?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So at the end of it, they're going to Canada, right? And they're like basically saying, yeah, and we'll protect you or whatever it was. Like these young mutants are going to Canada. Will they be protected? And I'm just thinking, like, that's Alpha Flight, right? Is there anything else that could have been but Alpha Flight that was going to protect them?
I don't know. Like, maybe it's just the Canadian government.
No.
I can't remember the end of it. I just remember they had Alpha Flight's the Canadian superhero team, where you had what is it, Sasquatch, and
it's technically part of the.
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. Okay.
Because Wolverine had his first appearance was in the Hulk, but I mean, like, his first serious thing was in Alpha Flight.
Yeah, they made a cameo on the '90s X-Men series at least once.
Yeah, I mean they're sort of like the Canadian branch of the X family.
Okay.
And I was just certain that this is obviously Alpha Flight they're talking about. And so I was like, obviously Fox got bought out and everything, but I would be very shocked if someone wasn't really seriously trying to make an Alpha Flight movie happen, as a spinoff from Logan.
It's not a terrible idea.
That'd be pretty interesting.
And they've made an Ant-Man movie. Why not an Alpha Flight movie?
That's what I think.
Honestly, you got to start branching out here, and we're getting into the all the stuff everyone knows has been done already. Now we got to get into the weeds, essentially.
They're making 3 Ant-Man movies, actually.
What?
They just didn't they announce the third one?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, if you've got Paul Rudd, I mean, he's a pretty good,
comedic,
solid lead man who can actually usually bring some, box office in. Makes sense.
I will say, if it didn't have Paul Rudd, I probably would not have enjoyed those movies.
Oh, dude, remember speaking of like X-Men, do you guys remember when they threw that meme into X-Men 3 with "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch"?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that
Great.
was
Classic moment.
I don't know. That was kind of.
You didn't like it, dude? I thought it was amazing, dude. When I was in the theater with my friends, and I was in high school when that came out. Of course, the meme was super huge when I was in high school, and so when we were like, oh, we just lost our damn minds.
Yeah,
incredible.
So I have
Maybe
a Wikid.
Well.
Yeah, I have a Wikid related question that we should probably address here.
Sure, man.
When is Wikid magazine #2 coming out?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. I know it's been a huge delay. It's been tough with the printers, trying to make it work. We're gonna try and get out ASAP. Obviously we had the printers delayed, and then we had to focus on crowdfunding, and so at this point, we may need to switch to do a different printer.
Okay.
For the magazine, if we want to get it out on a regular basis. Since our printer is a little slower.
Yeah, understandable. I just wondered when you thought, just your best guess for when #2.
I'd love to get it out before the end of the year, so hopefully we can try and get the ball rolling and get something moving.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll make a note to try and send some stuff out about that to you guys.
Cool. Yeah. No, because I'm jonesing for this magazine. Give me this.
Once we get the plans on that.
There's your heroin joke, Michael.
That's right.
There you go. I've been waiting for that callback. But yeah, we want to announce a return to the forum and kind of say, like, the triumphant return of the Wikid magazine, and to hopefully get it back on track here, because we had the first one come out and it did well, but it was we realized it was going to be hard to keep up the pace unless we had a better solid plan. So
yeah.
But yeah, so definitely want to get back to that.
Cool.
Yeah, people can check it out. The first one's available in the store, and it's also available in digital. If you'd rather just pick that up, it's a little cheaper on digital.
I still think we should get posters of that first cover.
Yeah, I think this is a good idea. We could put that up on the store.
Yeah,
good poster. And I want it to be the next one, because the next one is the Something Wicked This Way Comes cover, done by Art of Zoo. I don't know how you pronounce that exactly, but he did a sketch cover of a bunch of the Wicked characters, kind of in the style of that image from the movie Something Wicked This Way Comes by. It's based on the book by Ray Bradbury.
Yeah.
So okay, I haven't seen this one.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. I can't wait to show people.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that this year is so awful with delays.
Yeah,
everything's been delayed. Like,
I think this year is awful period.
Oh god,
yeah, 100% every day. So it's like just
one year I could have picked to sleep through in a medically induced coma.
The one thing I will say is that it makes the things that do make us happy and help get us things like the entertainment we like, and the in doing things like this, it makes it that much more worth it, honestly.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like, if you didn't have those things, you'd be losing your mind right now, right? Yeah. If you didn't have your people in your life or the things that you enjoy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would almost be right there with you, Jeremy. I've just been too busy this year to go into a medically induced coma.
I've been busy writing comics and kids books, so
yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I've been finding myself too tired to be able to do a lot of the stuff I used to like. I try to do some of the stuff I still like every now and then, but I'm just so exhausted from work half the time and doing Wicked stuff. That's like when you find time to do like games and movies and things.
It's definitely you got to try to find your rhythm, and it's not easy.
No, definitely not. Yeah. And see, I work. I don't know about you, Jeremy, or what you guys' situation is, but I work at home, so I'm completely, pretty much never leave. I never leave the house ever.
Yeah,
so it's kind of getting to me, I think.
I work at home. My wife now works at home because COVID. My 1-year-old is in the home most of the time. So it's like, I don't mind working in myself if it's just me, and I can have some time to just sit and think and ruminate, and that's not ever a problem. But when my wife and daughter are going crazy, it's hard to do those things.
Yeah, dude, I bet.
I kind of get that. Like, it's very rare for me to actually be in my own house by myself.
Yeah.
No,
when it happens, aren't you just like,
yes.
Pardon me, Scott. This is probably a silly question. I'm pretty sure I should have answered this already. But do you have a kid? You have a kid. Of course, you have a kid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. She's actually
daughter, right?
doing. Yeah, she's actually doing
I don't know why
distance.
I was like, why do I have a brain fart on that? But yeah, no, because she's come on to the streams with us, or like I've heard her in the background on streams.
Yeah, she'll come on sometimes and say hi and point out that the rage puppy's on the screen. That's her favorite. But she's doing distance learning kindergarten, so there's that on top of everything else.
Yeah, how's that been going for you guys as parents dealing with all that stuff?
It's gonna be better next month because my wife's schedule is gonna change, so she'll actually be home with her during all the school stuff.
That's good.
So, because they've been doing their best with her at daycare, but she doesn't finish all of her work, so we're catching up with that at the end of the day instead of focusing on the homework. So yeah, it's
okay.
Yeah, we're making it work the best we can.
That's good, man. Yeah, that's a lot of work you guys have on your plates. Yeah, man. You guys are the real superheroes. Not to be too cheesy about it.
Yeah, not that guy down in Washington who got busted with cocaine.
Right.
See the payoff? I remember the setup. Now that's the payoff.
We got the cocaine payoff and the heroin payoff.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Yeah. So Scott, do you want to talk maybe just briefly about your campaign? Plug your Indiegogo right now.
Sure. If you haven't heard of my series Wrath, it's a story about a young man
Rage puppy
with the rage puppy, yeah. With his ability to take all of the dark emotions from his abusive childhood, and they come to life and manifest in a physical form. And it's up to him and his best friend Nicole to kind of figure out this ability and what it means to both of them and how it's going to affect their lives together.
And it's currently at 61%.
Yeah. 61%. This is chapter 2. If you wanted to catch up, you haven't heard of our series, you can get it on the Wikid store, which Michael linked earlier. But yeah, we are trying to get 2,500. We're less than 1,000 away, and we've got 28 days since we recently extended. And we just want to keep telling our story. And this is chapter 2 of what we planned for 6 chapters. So help us keep this story going.
Very nice, man. I'm super excited. When that mid campaign boost happened, I was super excited to see that.
Yeah, that was a big game changer because we were looking at possibly just letting it lapse and starting over from scratch. So that just re-emphasized that people really want to see this comic made, and we're going to do our best to make that happen.
Yeah, that's excellent, man.
In fact, I have another stream this afternoon on Red Valkyrie with Gaslight.
Oh, very nice. Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yes, go check that out. What time is that again?
That'll be 1:30 Pacific, and then that'll be 4:30 Eastern.
Nice.
Cool.
Excellent. Oh, excuse me. And Ibai, do you have any campaigns that you wanted to plug right now? I know you almost always have something going on.
Yeah, I have all of them. Every campaign is mine. Currently I have Johnny's Law, which is has been written by Alex Garcia of Comics. I think it's struggling probably because we are both slightly unknown. And I also have SOS Volume 2 with Chimera Comics. The first one was a pretty moderate success, so we greenlit the second one, and I guess I will be drawing it alongside another 3 or 4 projects that I have coming up in the future.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the name of that second one there?
SOS Volume 2.
So let me put that up after this. I wanted to share this one here. SOS. If you want,
didn't you do all the art?
Maybe.
That actually, Johnny's Law. I think there's gonna be a second campaign for that, as far as I understand it.
Yeah, and it seems like we lost 10 backers. Holy shit! I must have said something really bad on the stream.
No, that's not it.
Oh no!
I'm sorry. He actually said that we're gonna try to not pick up this campaign later. So if I was to pick something that you're gonna get from Ibai earlier, I would go for SOS Volume 2.
Right, that's the Demon Hunter one, right?
Yeah,
brothers.
And SOS is hilarious.
It's actually called, or is it on? Sorry, is it Onslaught or?
Onslaught is another one. Onslaught is a spin-off.
You can't keep all of Ibai's projects straight.
Yeah.
That's when you know you're making it.
That's what happens when you're a workaholic who's pathologically afraid of being unemployed.
I'm gonna have to get you something to draw soon here, so we can.
I know, right?
I will be delighted to. And I know we have a project together, and we have to postpone it. And I guess I think I only got to draw like 2 pages, maybe.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, this thing, it looks baller, and Volume 1 was fire.
Really? Maybe I'll have to get jump in on round 2 then here.
Totally do it. The SOS is a very fun series.
That's awesome.
Like
I was lucky enough to.
How much time is left?
It says 38 hours.
Ooh. Last last call, everyone.
Yeah. Glug glug.
Drinks up. Drink.
Yeah. So
no, that's cool, man.
This is a very fun series. Ibai's art is, that's not pictured right. If you scroll down, that's like the cover by. Who did the cover, Ibai?
That's Kim Jacinto. I think he drew Ceviche Avenue.
Yeah. Ibai just does a really good job with these 3 crazy brothers, and I guess they're in space this time. Yeah, and we know a little something about how Ibai draws stuff in space. So you'll really miss out if you miss this.
Huh. Okay. Ibai in space. Ibai Canales art in space.
In space.
Right.
So we're gonna have a
Friday the 13th. We're taking things to space this time because that's good for sales.
Yeah.
Is this gonna be like a SOS meets the abductee?
Kind of is because they actually get abducted by a little gray guy. So I don't know if it's a happy coincidence or if Camera Comics the writer, thought I'm gonna make Canales pay homage to himself.
That's really funny, man.
Like even if it's just like a passing comment by one of the aliens, like at least he wasn't this guy.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely drawing an Easter egg for the abductable somewhere. Because I like to do that crap.
So now you and Fast and Furious have been confirmed to go to space, which is what a year, what a time to be alive.
Cars in space. Well, I guess Musk did it, so everyone's got to do it now.
It was a natural.
Honestly, though, if they made the Fast and Furious movie in space, I would totally go watch it.
Yeah, apparently they are. The next one's going to be in space. I just read something. They officially confirmed it recently. Yeah.
I thought it was just a joke.
No, it was a joke and that turned into something real.
Yeah. What do we do for the next one? Oh, why don't we do it in space?
And then there's one movie after that to make 10, and so if they go in space in number 9, how do you top it with number 10?
Time travel.
Yeah, I guess so, right?
They go to hell. They go to hell like the Expendables for Bill and Ted.
That's
right. all I'm gonna say, if they go through time, they better have a DeLorean.
Yes.
Oh man, add that up. Yeah, it just becomes like a sci-fi series on the last movie. It's like complete sci-fi. Well, that's awesome. Any other campaigns you got going on?
Not really. I think that's all of them. Everything else is closed. I'm currently busy drawing and inking Ironsides 3 for your boy.
Yeah. I wonder when he'll launch that one.
I think he said something like January, something like that, in one of his recent videos.
Knowing Richard, it could be any time. He just drops these things randomly.
Like the one he has out now.
Yeah, right? He's like, I'll just do another campaign. Yeah, okay.
What's it called again? Immortal Stars or something?
Impossible Stars.
Impossible Stars.
Impossible Stars, yeah.
Yeah, and apparently it was ready to launch in January, and he was just like, I'm not feeling it. And so then he gets to September, and he's like, why not?
Well, that's part of his charm, his randomness.
No, he's very random. So, I will back Impossible Stars, but I'm waiting because I'm like too deep with him, right? Because I backed Expendables and I backed what was the other one? Pandemic, right? And I'm like, he's got to get me one of those books before I'm willing to back a third one. I
forgot to back the Expendables. I didn't have the money at the time, and I totally forgot to go back and get it.
You're so lucky because I might have found the dealer only link and used that, and then told him about it, so that he closed that loophole. But only after I was going to get like 3 or 4 or 5 copies. So
that's funny.
I'll just send you one.
Oh, that'd be dope. I'll pay you for it too if you like, man. Because I definitely don't mind compensating for that. That's dope.
He put the link out publicly, and I very quickly ordered it and said, "You put the link out publicly."
Oh man, that was a good call for you to do.
That's why I love him.
Oh yeah, no, he's a lovable goofball. So, well, anyways, guys, I gotta go take care of my family. So I will see you before too long.
All right, man. Well, have a great day. We'll see you later.
All right, bye,
man.
And people can follow him if you want to go check him out on Twitter. He's at Jeremy Lott Diary, and you can go check out all the stuff he's got there and what he's got going on, movie man or otherwise.
Movie man is great, and unlike some others, he still has his own Twitter account because some of us have been banned like 5 times.
You have a record.
I just find it fascinating that we've been doing this for like I think I do. I'm just too spicy. And I find it endearing that someone is able to hold on to the same account for like 3 years in a row.
Isn't that cute? No, that's funny, man. Yeah, what I find surprising is that your current one has been around for a while.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean,
forever, dude. Honestly, at this point, forever in your terms.
Yeah, no, I'm up to. No, go ahead. It's the lag again. It's doing its thing.
Well, I was gonna say that since we're talking about eBuy's accounts, Dan Sachow did one of those like circle things, and I saw eBuy on there twice. I'm like, only Canales can be on someone's twice.
Such is the way of Canales.
Oh man, yeah, that's just funny. But I guess we're pretty much towards the end of our podcast here. What do you guys got going on the rest of the weekend and whatnot?
I've got a whole list of chores and things to do, and and I've got that stream, and just promoting that. So
you are one busy guy.
I know. I'm so tired.
For you need a nap.
I was thinking maybe I should go watch this movie called Antebellum, but I don't know because it just looks like the end.
I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know. It could look interesting. Yeah,
they've been making since Get Out, So I don't.
Right, that's exactly kind of how I felt. I'll be honest. Not. I don't know. Not to say that I won't be good because of that. I just there's been a lot of copycats since Get Out is all. I've noticed. Not all of them are good.
It's the new high school horror trend. The racism is bad horror trend. And I don't know. It gets old after a while.
I think was it Jordan Peele when he made Get Out? He said that he was calling it this new genre called he called it social thriller, and so I feel like there are a lot of people trying to imitate that style. But Jordan Peele, he does it better than like anybody else right now. Like
I don't know. Get Out in itself. Get Out in itself is a pretty good movie, but I don't think he invented social thriller.
He even said it. He said he didn't invent it himself. Even
No, I mean, do you guys remember this movie called People Under the Stars? It was Craven director made.
Yeah,
really?
That's a great movie.
That's a trippy movie.
Really?
Right?
Like if we explain it to you, you're gonna be like, what?
Yeah, let's just say it's like a modern fairy tale set in a ghetto. with a couple of white guys who kidnap kids from the ghetto and force them to be like their surrogate children, and they keep them under the stairs, so they devolve into cannibalism.
And that's in the one you were just talking about.
Yeah, that's People Under the Stairs. And it's a great creepy as hell movie. And I think that's not one of the first, but I think that counts as a social thriller.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I'll have to check that out. I actually like the kind of a genre. It lends to some really tense moments and whatnot. Like I don't know if you guys have seen Lovecraft Country yet. That's Jordan Peele's new show.
Yeah, I've seen parts of it. I need to get back into it. It's hard for me to sometimes sit down and watch something. I get distracted a lot. But it's got some interesting stuff in there.
Yeah, I really quite like it a lot.
It's really interesting how like the episodes are almost like their own stories that connect somehow. It's kind of interesting.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, it was a little confusing going from 1 to 2, and I'm like, is this like a whole different? Oh no, I see how it works now.
Yeah, I didn't actually get that until episode 3, I think, and then I was like, oh wait, I see what they're doing now. I was like, oh, okay. It does make it. What I like about it is it allows them to pay homage to a lot of different Lovecraft stories, and different styles of horror. Like episode 3, I won't spoil anything, but it definitely is like it plays on a classic style or trope of horror. And so that was kind of a fun episode, like just a self-contained like episode.
What, you talking about the Goonies episode?
Which one's the Goonies episode?
It's just like episode 3 when they're like going through the little booby trap tunnels and they find like the
was that the one with the house?
No, that was the second one.
Oh, the haunted house was the second one?
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking the haunted house, and I was thinking episode 2. Okay, yeah, you're right. I forgot about it's the Goonies one. Yeah. I was thinking like, because that's a total classic Lovecraft too. Is like the Serpent Man having these hidden tunnels underground, and so I was like, oh, this feels so close. Oh, fuck, no spoilers. Did we spoil it?
No spoiler.
Did we spoil something?
No, we didn't spoil anything.
I think we gave away. Oh, we'll shut up. We won't say anymore. Sorry, Casper. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't think we spoil anything, but we may have gave too much away about the direction of things. So we'll go ahead and shut up about that. Sorry, man. Sorry.
No, there's tons of surprises in there. He just kind of knows a little bit of what to expect.
Yeah, my bad.
We didn't give away any of the surprises.
Yes, that is very true. Definitely didn't give away surprises or anything about the story itself. Just kind of more the themes of some of the stuff you might expect to see. But I mean, it's Lovecraft, right? So he says he was fast and muted. Oh, that's good. Thank God. We'll have to put up a spoiler warning later on. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Casper, because I'm really against spoilers too. Sometimes I forget and let stuff like that, but most of the time I'm like, no spoilers.
You want to say bye to everyone?
Fresh. Yes. For joining us.
So yeah, I got to bounce, guys.
No worries. Let's wrap this up. Let's let everyone get on with their afternoon here, and we'll stop spoiling everything. So let us know where you guys can be followed online, so people can check out your stuff.
Go first, George.
Oh, sure. You can follow me on Twitter. It's at Kishkumen, KYSHKUMEN. And you can follow my Instagram at Wrath Graphic Novel. And you can always check out... Yeah, that's a pen. You can always check out my merchandise store at ragepuppy.com. And I'm going to go ahead and bounce because I've got a little 5-year-old here that's getting into everything. So you guys all have a good day.
Good luck, man. Have a good one.
All right.
Yeah, man.
And then how about you, man? What you got?
You guys can find me at my most professional at Decimators Art, which is where I talk about comics and nerd stuff, and I try to promote this comic called Decimators that the fine lads at Wikid Publishing have been so kind so as to print it. And you can also follow me at Canadesibai. Under your own responsibility. I take no responsibility of what might happen if you follow me there. And yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. We can also be friends on Facebook if you want.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And definitely check out his projects that we looked at earlier. Those are gonna be, awesome. And you're always working on something new, so keep an eye out on that. And we appreciate you joining in, guys. Everything, thank you for stopping by and saying hello. And if you are watching on the replay, we appreciate that as well. And we're just going to do a short episode this week, I think. But let everyone get to their weekend. But thank you again for everyone joining. And don't forget, it's National Talk Like a Pirate Day. So if you don't talk like a pirate, you're going to walk the plank. So get on out of here and drink some rum. I vast. Let's end the broadcast.